Hey, what's up, folks out there in High Vibes? In today's video, I just want to talk about, being a TI once again. Well, I'm not targeting individual because I have my spiritual brothers and, of course, my spiritual family and stuff like that. But I want to talk about, the difference between actually being, a TI and actually, having, paranoia and things like that. Because a lot of people think that there's people that are after them that aren't really after them, because it can be ourselves that are our own worst enemy sometimes. Because there are times, where we're like, oh, I should do this, but then that thought comes into your head and you're like, oh no, I shouldn't do this or that, but it's positive for you. And that's like the ego. See, sometimes you become a little conscious of some things, and or you start to come over, over trying to analyze every little thing, because if you're over analyzing the situation and the circumstances, you're not getting the clear, full picture. See, the difference between a tortoise and a rabbit is the rabbit can pick up its pace, but when you're moving real fast, things start to move, things vibrate. If I was moving this camera real fast, I'd probably look all blurry and shit. But if you're moving nice and steady and you're flowing, you're gonna be able to see the things around you. You're gonna be able to observe, the people that are coming around in your environment, stuff like that. See, if you're too paranoid about people following you around and stuff like that, you need to start grounding yourself and balancing yourself out, because if you're not doing those things, that paranoia is just going to keep your ego, and that paranoia, your ego is going to feed into that paranoia, and it's just going to keep dragging you down further and further. So you have to be willing to tame your ego. And what I mean by tame your ego, it means find, not let your ego get you out of control to the point where you're thinking that you're super paranoid and there's just people always following you around, because it's not like not everyone's going to sit there and follow you around. Because if you really think about it, the people that are running this matrix and things like that, if out of the billions of people and stuff like that, you got to think there are billions of people, in order for any type of, agent or like MPA, to really care about somebody or even pay attention to them if they see them as a threat. Other reason than that, there is no reason. And a lot of people out there that are paranoid of like agents following them around and stuff, that, or people think that people are following them and targeting them sometimes, is their own paranoia. I was there once, but I actually was a TI and stuff, but not forever, because I got my spirit family, of course. So high vibes to that. But also, I have a link in the description for any of those who want to be, come get connected with us at RTM. Of course, we're moving the physical, so you're gonna see a lot of big changes coming around. But it's not like we don't put any work spiritually, mentally, and physically. We actually have to do that stuff, because obviously no one's putting the work spiritually, so someone has to around here. And that's the problem. Not enough people are putting in spiritual work. People will put ego work in, but not spiritual work. But back to the the TI thing. I don't want to get too off topic, so I'm gonna make sure this video helps whoever is out there, to help them, because it does suck, having people, having this paranoia, always having this stress thing that people are doing these things to you. It can take a toll on your spirit, mind, and your body all at the same time. It can start affecting your trinity. It can start to affect your daily lives around people. Not if you're so paranoid, eventually you're going to start, I'm not saying you're going to, but your paranoia could lead you to you thinking that your family is after you, or even your own spiritual brothers and stuff like that. Because the ego deals with paranoia. If you don't know what the ego deals with, it deals with emotions and fears and hates and stuff like that. Because the ego deals with the physical realm and stuff like that, that's here in this matrix system. But see, like all the emotions and stuff like that, the ego, and that's like someone like your ego basically. If you are completely paranoid, like I'm not saying like I don't know your situation where you're at or what's going on, but if you get in tune and actually talk about certain things, I'm not talking about 30 million mile page long, just be like, I want to know if you have any questions, leave a comment or something like that, so that way I could possibly help you out if you want the help. Because it's all a matter of choice. It's like you can bring a horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. It's like you can't force someone to get help if they don't want help. You have to be willing to go 50-50. That person has to be willing to go 50, and the other person has to go 50. So, but some people go like, well, I'm not gonna talk about that. But but the ego will have you so paranoid, right, that you are just going crazy. Right back where I was saying about, you think that your family members or your spiritual brothers and stuff like that, that's just the beginning of it. And eventually you're just going to isolate well, I'm not saying you're going to isolate yourself, but it can lead to that. That's why you have to get connected. See, within this matrix system, there are different types of ethnicity and different crisis, everything like that. And you have to learn to deal with that. You have to learn to get, not to be, I'm not saying you're shy or anybody out there, but to be honest, like, if you are shy, then you know what? It's time not to be shy. It's time for you to get out of the box and jump out of the box and get, get uncomfortable and get comfortable with being, with the things that are uncomfortable. Well, I'm not saying like do things that make you truly uncomfortable, like things that are gonna make you like get in trouble or like make you feel like afraid and stuff like that. I'm not promoting you to do stuff like that. Do things that are in line with your spirit and mind and your body. Do things that resonate with inside yourself, spiritually, mentally, and physically, and make sure that you're not just like going all crazy about people following you around. And if there are people following you around, you have to start to learn to protect yourself. But it can happen, it really can happen, because I was there, sometimes I would since I was a TI and stuff like that, and I was like, I did notice people would look at me, but then because I was so paranoid about some things, I'd be like, oh, this person's just an agent too. But then I started to realize, and with my MC, of course, helping me out, I started learning, okay, not everyone's out to get me. But because it can feel like that, especially if you're by yourself and you're spiritual, it can feel like you're a TI, because you have all these people around, all these people that are, in the underworld. Of course, there are some people are like LLAs, people that are above, LLCs, people that are LLCs, that are low-level connects, basically, that are in the upper world, that are positive people. There are these people, but well, I'll be honest, there's a lot of negative people out here. So you have to realize that there are these people in this reality, and there's have to be willing to let go of certain things that your ego wants, because all the people are trying to be about me, and all these things. But you gotta remember, put the pieces back together, and then you'll really remember. But basically, we're all in this together. Instead of saying, your ego, your wants and your desires, you have to be willing to put that aside, because see, your ego will trick you into thinking that it's really what you want, but it's what what it wants, so it can seclude you, it can get you trapped off. See, you have to let go of your ego. Well, not let go of it, but tame it. So that way, once it's tamed, and those like, say you do tame your ego, and you were always paranoid, and once you tame your ego, then you see something trying to like come up in a scenario where ego's like, oh, you need to start being paranoid, but you're conscious enough to be aware. See, that's what it's like to get in. When you get to higher stages, you can be like that. Okay, I'm not paranoid. I know the difference between an agent and just some regular person that's a drone, basically, in this reality. In order to do that, you have to become spiritual, get in tune with yourself, get in tune with your heart, and your spirit, mind, body, basically, so that way you can start to distinguish stuff. Because if you are paranoid, and if you don't believe me, then put in the work, and then you'll see for yourself. You don't, like I say in my videos, you don't have to believe me. I just ask that you put in the work. Well, you don't have to put in the work whatsoever. That's up to you, to be honest, 100% on that. Because there only will be that few that put in truly 100% for spirit. Because a lot of people aren't going to leave this world, especially when that time comes around. But not getting into that, but this video's getting almost about 10 minutes, yeah. But I'm just gonna end it here, because I gotta get back and stuff like that. And I think that should be like a general description to help people out with being a TI, because just turn up in your life. And what I mean turn up for symbology means raise up. Stop being somebody that is fearful of all these people around, and be confident. See, that's when I made a video about being spiritually confident in yourself, that deals with letting go of the certain ego things that are holding you back from actually being like, all right, this person's not actually out to get me, it's just some person, and it's just me and my ego that's having the problem. Once you tame your ego, you're like, oh, okay, you can actually feel like a weight of shoulder, a weight off your shoulder, and you're like, I feel much better. I can actually move more freely in my life, and I feel like I can actually breathe. See, like, if you're in this reality and you're trying to isolate yourself, you're suffocating yourself. See, the symbology that goes into all of this, if you start to think about it, if the ego is trying to get you to be separated, and you are allowing yourself to be separated, and you're by yourself, what does the snake do? It constricts you, it confines you, it doesn't want you to move. Like, watch the snake, how it kills its prey. It gets on its prey and it chokes it slowly, so that it is not living anymore. That's like your spirit. The ego is trying to get your spirit to be boxed up and constricted to the point where you can't be free. And that's where all the stress comes from, because ego is creating the stress for you, because you're allowing it to create the stress for you and being paranoid about certain things. And it's not bad I'm not saying, well, how do I put this so that way you can understand it like clearly, basically, because it can be hard for sometimes to put things together so that, well, for you people to understand, so that way, because I want to make sure that I say something that actually helps you, understand what exactly it is I am saying, because not everyone understands symbology and stuff like that, but if you put in the work, you'll get there. And I think that's important if you want to like learn who it really is. If people are following you, you have to start taming your ego if you want to make things better. But if you don't want to make things better, and if you think that people always are following you around, then that's going to be up to you. That's going to be the sacrifice for you to always be in that constricted, lifestyle, and that paranoid state. Yeah, I'll make that word up myself, because all the words are just symbology too, and those are just illusions that are just words. Everything is physical reality. Well, I'm not gonna get at it, but anyways, peace and love with my highest vibrations. My full love and my full gratitude to all those that are watching. And if you are TI, I hope that you do turn up, and I hope that to see a comment in the bottom, like actually leave a comment, in the description. Well, no, not in the description, but in the comment section below, of course, the comment section. I was thinking about leaving a link in the description for my RTM. Oh, that's right, yeah. I don't know if I said it once or not, but because I was kind of going here and there with some things, but I coupled this pretty much a certain description. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So peace and love with my highest vibrations and my full love and my full gratitude, and I will have a link in the description for reprogramthematrix.com. Bye-bye.